Hotel History is created for adult audiences. Content may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. You're listening to Hotel History. We take you with us through the sordid history and scandals of some of the world's most famous and infamous hotels. I'm Dieta.
And I'm Yael. Let's get started. Welcome to our book club episode. We are discussing The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart.
This was our October book club read, a choice for Halloween, so we tried to pick something that had some ghosts, this one had a little murder, a little time travel, so it was a whole lot of things wrapped into one.
Yeah. And we took a vote. It was between this one and a different book, and this one won. So what did you think of this book?
So overall, I really enjoyed it. I listened to the audiobook and I thought that the narrator did a really good job. It really didn't start to bother me until the very, very end, where I started to lose a little track of what was actually happening. With the time travel book, obviously there's going to be a lot of strings that need to be tied up at the end, and a lot of time travel theory happening, and is this what's happening, or is this what's happening, and this could happen. So I started to lose the plot a little bit towards the end, but then I went back and re-listened to the last couple of chapters, and that really helped, because I had just missed some things, which I tend to do when I'm listening. I'm much better at reading than listening.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I'll get distracted, or I've fallen asleep while listening, and then I'm like, wait, what happened? I love the concept of the book, and there were parts of like a little bit more in a few chapters in where I got really invested and I was interested. But I have to say, the whole time I felt like waiting for something to happen, and it felt, I think maybe I didn't like that we were so in her head.
Mm.
I wanted to see other perspectives, or like something else happening. And I know at the end they went to like Nazi Germany, right? At some point. And that was like the exciting, finally time travel-y part.
Oh, right. Yeah. So a little bit of a misconception I saw with a lot of reviews on this book is that people thought this would be a book about time travel adventures, and it's not. So we'll get into that
Yeah.
for sure, because that is a little bit of a misconception. There's actually not a lot of actual time traveling going on, unless you're the main character. She's sort of doing her own little internal time travel, which we will get to in just a minute.
Yeah.
So a lot of themes happening in the book. Obviously, time, what time is, what it means, what its purpose is, how it can be manipulated, but also heavy on the grief. A lot about capitalism and corruption, and also the illusion of control.
Yeah. I like something I like about what he did with the book was he kind of made this science fiction idea and how it would actually present in our modern day reality.
Yeah.
So the premise of the book is it takes place in the year 2072, which I think we need more time for time travel. I feel
I
like
don't
it would be
know.
way ahead
Think
of the future.
about from 1900 to 1950, like some decent stuff going on from in advancements. From 1950 to the year 2000, the advancements really avalanched. So maybe in the next
True.
50 years, if the avalanche continues at that pace, then maybe it could.
Maybe. Definitely her little robot friend that followed her around.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So the story takes place in the year 2072 in the Paradox Hotel, a luxury lodging adjacent to the Einstein Intercentury Time Port, called just Einstein for short, which allows carefully regulated trips to the past.
So Einstein is the actual time machine. And then the Paradox Hotel is where people stay to go to Einstein.
Because it's expensive and dangerous, time travel is restricted to the ultra rich or state sanctioned missions. The hotel is a mix of government base, luxury resort, and security checkpoint, where wealthy travelers stay before embarking on time tourism trips to the past, like the age of dinosaurs or ancient civilizations. The hotel also serves as a base for government agents overseeing temporal travel, ensuring the timeline remains stable. See, that was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the whole idea that the government is like, they're trying to control this thing. I still don't believe, I think there would be no such thing. Even if time travel existed, I don't think they would let the public, even if you're ultra rich, do it.
Not at first. I agree. I think at first it would be completely government controlled NASA situation, like for how many years only astronauts could go to space, but now billionaires get to go to
Oh,
space.
I see, I see, I
Yeah.
see.
So I think that this must be in a time where the government slightly opened it up a little bit to the ultra wealthy.
But still, you're messing with something way bigger. It's not just like you're going to space and
Yeah.
nothing really
Well, I think
happens.
it's so suitable to the government that they have scholars, they have time scholars. There's all these theories of how time works and what we should and shouldn't do because it might destroy reality, but nobody knows for sure and nobody really understands how it works and they're still like that's cool, but we can mess with it a little bit. It'll be okay. And I think
Yeah.
that's such the hubris of humans to be like, nah, it'll be fine. We can do this.
Yeah, that's true. He did a very good job.
Yeah.
Like, you know, creating that whole illusion of like the the agency, the government agency, it's like we have it under control. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
The protagonist, January Cole, I love their name is January,
Yeah.
very unique, is the head of security at the Paradox Hotel. She's a former elite time enforcement agent in the Time Enforcement Agency, TEA for short, hunting down illegal time smugglers and preventing paradoxes. But now she's suffering from chrono sickness, a condition caused by overexposure to time travel that makes her unstuck in time. This was also very creative.
Yes. I loved this concept.
That you're not, that if you do this enough, you're going, like, there's no way that wouldn't affect you physically or like mentally.
The human brain did not evolve to go back and forth in time. So it makes sense that some sort of illness would develop because of it.
Yeah. So January experiences time out of sequence. She's having flashes and moments where she's like, but she's also aware that it's,
Yeah.
she's like, this isn't the right time, which is kind of cool that she was aware of it. But then that's also really annoying because it happens without her control.
Yeah. That would be so distracting too. Like you're in the middle of something and then it's like twing. Oh, and someone who's not
Yeah.
really here is here and I have to pay attention to it, even though I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah. So she's reliving moments from her past and seeing flashes of the future. This temporal dislocation is worsening, making it hard for her to tell what's real, But everyone knows she's unstuck. There's
Yes.
different like phases of unstuck,
Yes.
right? And she's
Right.
like, no, I'm just phase one. They're like, you're not phase one. You're like phase two.
You're really good at your job, so we're gonna let you stay, but we all know you're totally phase two.
Right. She's dealing with interesting things every day.
Yeah, this woman is dealing with a lot.
Yeah. But of course, strange things start happening. When a series of strange occurrences begin, malfunctioning robots, her little robot friend. I just imagined a ball.
Yeah,
Was
I did
that it
too.
like
Just like a
floating
little
around?
hovering with like a
Yeah.
little like hummingbird wings or something.
Yeah.
And I love so her robot, she puts googly eyes on it so that she can have like a focal point to talk to it, which
I
I
would
think
do
is
that
so
too.
cute.
Yeah, that's it's like the delivery robots. They're more human with those
Mm-hmm.
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, malfunctioning robots, unexplained ghosts, and a murder that only January seems to see. That was like the whole thing in the beginning where she's like, right, where she saw the murder.
Yes, yes.
And no one,
She sees a dead body in one of the hotel rooms that nobody else sees. And I love that. It's a really cool spin on the locked room murder mystery.
Mhm.
It's a really creative way to do that that hasn't been done before.
Yeah. So she must investigate all of this before an important auction at the hotel where billionaires plan to buy the rights to privatize the time travel, which is not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Oh, and actually, I'm sorry, it says billionaires, but it's actually trillionaires because at this
Oh,
point,
right, because
50 years in the future, we've moved to having trillionaires.
yeah, the details like that really were very accurate.
Yeah. With this being a whole kind of being viewed as like a new mode of transportation almost, it really did does follow a really logical pattern because I was thinking about aviation and how in the beginning it was all government owned and government regulated until eventually they deregulated it and it became privatized. And so it
Yeah.
kind of makes sense that time travel might follow a similar trajectory.
Yeah, but again, I feel like it's one of those things where even with space travel, it's like what's you're not messing with the ramifications of messing with time travel is
Yes.
so
Much higher stakes, which
much
makes
higher
for a
stakes.
great novel.
So I'm shocked that again, I feel like that should not be in the hands of anyone, including the government.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Much like, how nuclear fission is one of those things that it's like it could
Yeah.
seriously help humanity, but also should that be in the hands of humans?
So what I like about books like this, it gets me thinking about like the what if of the future
Mm-hmm.
and how there's so much that we have not discovered yet or not haven't built yet. And it's scary.
Let's dig into the hotel itself a little bit.
Mhm.
So, this hotel is super TWA coded.
Yeah, it is.
I think they even reference the TWA a time or two in the book itself.
It's probably the inspiration for
Yeah,
the author.
I think so, because the design is mid century modern, that's supposed to give it both a retro and futuristic look. Absolutely 100% TWA hotel. The lobby, though, is a tall cylinder with concentric rings around it that hold like the restaurant and other public areas like that. And it's described like a shopping mall built vertically. And then in the middle of the lobby is a huge brass pole going from the floor to the ceiling that has a huge astronomical clock on it that you can actually clock when the little time lapses happen. Because the hotel is so close to the time machine, it has little time slips as like a normal occurrence where like they'll lose a minute or two and you can actually watch it happen on the clock.
But then that starts being weird too.
Yeah, then they start to lose a little more than just a timer, a minute or
Yeah.
two. And then the guest wings are described as the halls curving slightly, which also sounds just like the two wings that they built for the TWA hotel, where like the hallways kind of curve a little bit,
This
which,
is TWA.
yeah, which January describes as cool for its design, but a nightmare for security because you can't see what's coming around the corner.
That's a metaphor.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, this book is dripping in symbolism and
Yeah.
metaphors. It's great. She also mentions several times that the carpet is this ugly blue color that nobody understands why that color was chosen because the rest of the hotel's design is so perfect. And she's like, obviously, the color should have been red. Why is it blue? And the TWA's carpet is red.
Yeah, but isn't that the whole thing with I mean, I don't want to give too much
Yeah, yeah.
away,
No,
but
we
like the
find out
person who
later
designed it.
exactly why the carpet is blue. So we try really hard not to do spoilers. So no spoiler. We do find out though why the carpet is
Yeah.
blue. There is a reason, but for as like several times throughout the book until we know, everybody's like this fucking blue, ugly blue carpet. So what did you think about the paradox as like an actual hotel? Did you think that the author like really kind of it rang true as like, yes, this is how a hotel functions? Or did it feel a little bit like, maybe this person has not worked in hospitality?
A little bit. It's the hotel vibe. What I got the sense was that this hotel really was catering to like two kinds of people, government agents and like uber rich politicians.
Yes. And
And
like just
so,
wealthy people in general, just like, but very, very wealthy.
yeah, but like well connected, not just rich, like important,
Yeah. Cause they
you
have to
know?
be rich enough to be able to afford to do time travel, which
Yeah.
seems to be reserved for the uber wealthy billionaires and trillionaires.
But then that's the whole thing is that I feel like the client, there wasn't that many people in the hotel, it felt like. It wasn't
Oh, really?
busy.
It
And
felt super crowded to me because remember how they had to start kicking people out of their rooms to put the
yeah,
guests. Oh, so a another thing that sort of adds on to everything that they're experiencing at this hotel is that there's a blizzard coming through that basically nobody can leave, and so even though a lot of people's uh, time travel trips start to get canceled because things are acting up a little bit and nobody knows why. None of those guests can leave and come back. They all have to stay at the hotel. And so guests that should have checked out already are still there while guests that are arriving now they can't leave but they don't have a room. And so the hotel to me actually felt really crowded. At least in
yeah,
the main area, not so much in the wings.
yeah. At that point, that's when it felt more crowded. But before I was like, how many people are here?
True,
It
because
just
anytime
always,
she's in the guest areas, it seems like the
yeah.
hallway is always empty. It's like just her and her robot.
Yeah, her and just the way that like also she's always interacting with people of the hotel that I'm like, they gotta be busy. Like everyone doesn't seem busy enough to me. Or I was like, I don't know. It's just like a hint of you're very preoccupied with this time travel mystery, but you still you got to work on the hotel. That makes sense.
Yes.
So that was my only thing.
Does it ever say how many rooms, like how many guest rooms are
I
available?
couldn't no, but that's why it was very hard for me to visualize. I didn't know how big the hotel was. I didn't know how busy. I
Yeah.
didn't know
But eventually there are enough
like
people
trying to
there.
control everyone who comes in and out. I'm like, how are you going to do? Who are the other security people?
Yeah.
Like
It does
who's
seem like there weren't that many security agents, at least that January was interacting with. Maybe they were there and they had other jobs
yeah.
to do. I don't know.
I'm like two people for a whole hotel. Like there's no way.
Yeah, but then eventually the people who work in the hotel also live in the hotel, and so those people start getting kicked out of their rooms for the wealthy guests to have a place to stay and getting put in cots in the hallway. So there definitely does end up being too many people.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What do you mean? Like that was bizarre, I thought. Then don't let people live in the hotel if you can't have enough rooms. Like that's where they live.
Yeah, I can't imagine
You
somebody
can't,
kicking
they
somebody
have
out of your at that
rights
point. Yeah, that's your house. So
unless that's the agreement. Unless they signed something that said like there's a good chance we can kick you out whenever we want.
yeah, it was probably in some fine print buried in their employment contract.
Still, that's so wrong.
Yeah, or they put it
So
in the NDA
wrong.
because they all have to sign an NDA working with all of these
Yeah,
billionaires.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought there are a lot of things that did come off as very authentic, though, like the normal things in the hotel, like the very unflappable concierge, a character named Cameo, who
Hmm.
seems to basically be pretty much in charge as far as the lobby and registration and dealing with customers goes. And that character was definitely all concierge, like very professional, knew exactly how to deal with people's requests and demands and how difficult these wealthy guests could be that aren't used to being told no. And so I thought that part came off as really authentic.
Yeah, that was uh that was a good one. I mean, I think her role and her personality go. She's kind of like a, tough cookie, like I'm going to say what I want. I don't care
Yeah.
about the consequences. And she has to
Oh,
be. If you're
January.
security, yeah, January.
Yeah.
If you're going to be security and your job is still, and like this is a serious role, like you can't be, people should be scared of you a little bit.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
I also love that the porter, or I guess we would probably call him a bellhop, Brandon, is basically just constantly high, which I think could
That's true.
be true to life. Maybe not everywhere, but in some places, I'm sure that that some employees probably get
Yeah,
by
but he's
with
good at his job, so who cares?
exactly. But he was still great at his job, so
Yeah.
everybody was just like, "Well, that's Brandon."
Yeah. I think he got some of that right. Like the hotel doesn't sound like a five-star hotel because I've worked in a five-star hotel. The characters that you meet here, like the sassy security guard, the high porter, that's in like a non five star, but a fun hotel, not five star. Five-star hotels will fire you so fast. It's like a different world. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's kind of the point because what makes it appealing to people is the accessibility of time travel, not this isn't
Yeah,
like
I think that
lavish.
yeah, the employees, especially mostly January, she's the most unprofessional one. She can get away with what she gets away with because her job is a government job, and so she's got a little bit more leeway, and these people have no,
True.
this is the only hotel that people can come to access time travel, so it's not like they're going to take their business elsewhere. There is nowhere else for them to take it, so she definitely gets a lot of leeway that a luxury hotel would never put up with from an employee.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't she like the whole time she's like, I'm gonna retire soon, or they're like, you need to retire.
Oh no, they want her to retire, and she's like, "You're gonna pull me out of this hotel dead,"
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah,
The guests definitely felt pretty normal. If these are the uber wealthy, they're most of them are a little bit out of touch with the way that regular people live, for sure.
kicking someone out of their room.
Yeah, out
Yeah,
of their home. Like you're
their
kicking
home.
someone out
Yeah.
of their literal home so that you can have a place to stay because you don't want to sleep in a cot for one night. But then they also have some very normal hotel complaints, like people seeing ghosts in their rooms. And then I love how some of the guests are wearing period costume because of whatever place they're about to go to back in
Yeah,
time. But
that's
that
funny.
but that even that they like will take too far because there's one guy who has clearly darkened his skin because he's going to like ancient Egypt or something. And that's supposed to be strictly not allowed. It's called the no blackface policy, and they're doing it anyway.
I mean, how are they gonna stop him?
Yeah, I mean they can't. But then
Yeah.
also, I'm like, what's your end game, guy? Like, what if you go back there and then you get wet and it washes off, and now people are looking at you like, what? Who are you? Something
Yeah.
about
Do
you doesn't belong.
yeah. I don't I feel like they need to be like prepped and trained more before they go.
Yeah.
The way that they just like go, they're like, I did my research. I'm like, did you?
Yeah. So some things that the hotel has that are not found in a normal hotel are a costumer. So they have somebody there that can help you fit in better. They have medical staff to get you vaccinations because you're going back to times and places that are not nearly as healthy and germ conscious as we are now. And I'm sure
Yeah.
also probably they have like an ER that can treat injuries that happen in the past. And then they also have like a linguist that can hook you up with an earpiece translator.
I think also the whole thing, that's where I'm just like, you're gonna get caught and how many how did they not die?
Yeah. Well, and occasionally people do. They
Yeah.
do mention that occasionally things happen because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And then some people, oh, bringing stuff back from the past,
Big no no.
but they do it
But they
anyway.
do it anyway. And it definitely causes some havoc in the hotel, which is one of the more absurd but really, really fun
Yeah.
scenes in the book.
The dinosaur eggs.
The dinosaur eggs.
I was like, what is this rant?
But it makes sense that smuggling is going to be an issue.
What else are they, if they're smuggling things, then like, what about bugs and
Mm-hmm.
that would bother me so much.
Yeah.
I'd be like, don't come back with like don't why would you do that to us? We don't need the Black Plague again.
I know. So, yeah, people make bad choices.
But again, everything makes sense. It's like such human error with
Yes.
time travel. It's a really good concept. I enjoyed lots of moments of the book. And there's more to the book, obviously. There's also like different
Let's move a little bit into the characters. What did you think of the main
yeah.
character, January?
I know a lot of people got annoyed with her. Like I read reviews and everyone's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, no one would talk like that," or like she's too sassy. I felt like she needed to either be more one way than the other. I okay. So she was like, you know, a character, but I think she needed to lean into her like, house character.
Mm-hmm. Her
Like
like
either she was
sociopathness.
yeah, yeah, like she needed to be even more like that and but also admit when she's wrong,
Mm.
or she needs to be more charming. It's like either or. I think she was on this line where I'm like, you need to choose.
Yeah. I kind of liked it because it showed that her veneer wasn't real. It was something that she had created to protect herself. And so she wasn't good at it because it wasn't really her. And then on the inside, you could see every time her reaction to herself all the time, where she's like, she hates herself. She's like, God, I'm a bitch. And of course,
Yeah,
everyone hates me, but fuck everybody. And I don't need them.
yeah. I think it's also like you're meeting her at this specific time in her
Mm-hmm.
life where she's unstuck, and it kind of like sounds like she was confused half the time too. Like she was disheveled, like in her mind. She's like,
Yes.
what the fuck? So I feel like sometimes her personality didn't even come out when she was unstuck in moments because she was just like, what?
Yeah. Yes,
I felt like
that's
she was
true.
being like very sassy 1 second, and the next second she was just like, huh? Where am I? But I mean, I liked her. I think that I wish she was meaner.
Yeah.
She was a little bit more like of an attitude, I think. That would have been, or at least maybe she could have been a little bit more funny
Mm-hmm.
in like her, and she was, but I'm saying like,
Yeah, I we do definitely meet her at this very specific time in her life where she's going through what I can only imagine would really almost destroy anybody's personality. So, I
yeah,
mean, so she's got the chrono sickness, which is clearly stage 2. There's 3 stages, and she's clearly stage 2. And
Mhm.
then she's also going through horrible grief from losing her partner, Mina. And that has really just completely wrecked her. Like you can tell from her memories and flashbacks of when Mina was alive that even when Mina was alive, January was still not a nice person
Yeah.
and uh, definitely had a lot of growing to do. But now that she's having to deal with this horrible grief and basically losing her mind, she's become like the worst version of herself almost. Like she's almost any redeemable
Yeah.
qualities are not coming out on the outside. They are on the inside.
On
She
the
just
inside,
can't
yeah.
seem to translate them into the outside. She always goes with her first gut reaction, which is
She's
to be mean.
she's on the defensive.
Yeah.
And yeah, you hear the inside the inner monologue of like she's like, yeah, kind of like, why am I doing that?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I actually really like this guy, or this he's not a bad person, but why am I being such a
Yeah,
dick?
this is literally my best friend when we were partners together, but also I don't trust him now and I'm going to say the worst thing I can think of.
Yeah, yeah. So but that's what I'm saying. I guess when I'm saying she should be meaner, it's not meaner, but like I just felt like she was confusing.
Mhm. Which makes sense because she's
Yeah.
confused. She doesn't know what's going
Yeah.
on half the time. So I like that we were experiencing that with her, that like we were just as confused as she was some of the time.
Yeah. I think I did I didn't love that it was so confusing at times.
Yeah, sometimes I was like, hold on, where are we and what has
Yeah.
happened? Was this real or was this not real? Which once again, I kind of think the author did that on purpose to help us
It's true.
feel
Yeah.
more what January was feeling. But as the outside reader, also it was like, okay, but can you help me like keep up with the plot? There's a lot going on. I
Yeah,
got a
there's a
lot of things
lot
to keep
going
up
on.
with.
It's a very busy book.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. It's very
Yes.
busy.
It's not slow paced at all. So if you're one of those people that likes that, you're going to love
Yeah.
this book. Another thing though, without giving too much away, is you're going to, because January is unstuck, you're going to see a lot of her past interactions with Mina because part of
Yeah.
being unstuck is that you relive past moments. So she sees Mina everywhere in the hotel, just randomly out of nowhere. And so, that's one reason she refuses to retire, is because she wants to continue seeing her dead girlfriend. But also, can you imagine what kind of dagger to this heart that is every single time you turn a corner and there's your partner that you're grieving and you can interact with them a little bit, even if it's not
Yeah.
real?
That fucks you up.
Like that would tear you apart because you can
Yeah.
then never get over them. You can never heal or fully grieve. You're looking
Yeah.
forward to the next time you see them, but also it's got to be a gut punch every
But
time you
that's
do.
why she's stuck.
Yeah. Like she's unstuck chronologically, but so stuck emotionally.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Unstuck and stuck at the same time. Yeah, she can't move on. She's obviously there's a lot. There's just so much
Yeah. And I think it's
destiny
so
going on.
I hadn't really considered this until I was reading another review, but this really kind of makes January an unreliable narrator because like we never know if she's seeing the real past or just her memory, her version of the past.
That's
And
what I'm
memories are so
saying.
unreliable.
That's what I'm saying. I wish there was a different perspective
Yeah.
in the book. That's what I wish. I wish it was a little bit like we got a glimpse of other characters, what's going on and how they see
Yeah.
January
Their
and what's happening
perspective.
in the
Mm-hmm.
hotel. Because I'm like, I'm confused, and I just felt like it was too in her head
Mm-hmm.
with Mina
Yeah.
also, and we could have dealt with a little bit less of that. Like it got a little annoying.
Oh, really?
I was a little annoyed. I'm like, again,
Again with the
Mina,
Mina. Ugh.
again.
Mina, she's got work to do.
It would have been nicer to have a little bit because the place sounds so interesting. I think just also getting a little bored of one person's perspective, especially someone who's going crazy.
Okay, well,
So
since you hate Mina so much, let's talk about her. So,
she seems really nice. I don't know what Mina saw in January.
Right? Oh my gosh. Mina is so I feel like they are opposite sides of the same
Yes.
coin. Like apparently, like we learned that they both dealt with different traumas growing up, like their childhoods were not great, but the way they
Hmm.
chose to deal with it is polar opposite. Like complete
Yeah.
polar opposite. January's all hard shell crab, like protect yourself, and Mina's all like love and forgiveness and growth.
Yeah. And very charming. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, I thought Mina was a nice character. I guess like it was just depressing
Yeah.
to see her constantly.
So
Like
many
in
times. Yeah.
yeah, it got depressing. But no, Mina was a good character. It was what's that thing? Like when they put two different characters together to kind of like highlight each other's
Mm-hmm.
traits.
Yes.
That's what Mina and January.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. There's no way there can be two Januaries. They'd kill each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it's, I mean, and it is really great that January loves Mina so much that she listens to her, and Mina's presence is the only thing that like drives January to even consider being a better person, which also is
Yeah.
kind of sad. Like, January, you need to love yourself enough to be a better person for you, not just for
No.
Mina, but
Well, January's a very flawed character.
yes,
She's
incredibly.
definitely, and that's why so many people didn't like her. And she got, yeah, I see why.
Yeah.
But being it makes it interesting because if she was too perfect, can you imagine? I don't think someone mentally stable is meant for a job like that. You got to have like a certain no bullshit personality to begin with. It makes sense. I see the line there of why someone her personality would get a job like that.
We mentioned that there are some trillionaires at this hotel, but specifically there are, I think it's four like big time trillionaires who are there specifically because the hotel is hosting a summit for people to bid on the privatization of time travel. And the whole reason the hotel has been chosen is because people are protesting this auction. They don't think
Mhm.
that trillionaires should be able to control history.
Yeah.
So they've moved the summit secretly from wherever it was going to be held and moved it to the hotel, and also pulled it up like in time quite a bit.
Yeah.
In addition to everything else January is dealing with, she's also trying to actually run security for these very important VIPs that are at the hotel, making sure that they stay safe, that people don't get into the hotel to disrupt the auction in case anybody finds out about it. And these trillionaires are also like not the greatest
Nice.
people, it seems like, at least some of them for sure. Some of them
No.
seem a little bit like morally neutral or gray. We don't really find out a lot.
Yeah, well, of course there's going to be some that are like they can't highlight each one, but yeah, I can't imagine. I knew that they were going to bring in like a trillionaire character that's not going to be nice.
Of course, of course.
Like if you want to buy and privatize this time travel, like what are you doing? Like what's your goal there? Other than the obvious, like selfish goals.
Yeah, like I'm sure they obviously want to continue to make money from being able to charge for people to take the trip. But also you know that every single one of them has something that they want to change about history. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you just know that first chance they get, they're going back to change something. And even
Yeah.
though the TEA is supposed to still be able to like regulate time travel even after it's privatized, you know that's not going to stop these people. Like,
No, because they're also going to turn a blind eye because basically have a deal with them.
yeah.
It's
So,
like,
yeah, so there's also all of that. January is staunchly opposed to changing things in the past. That used to be her job as a TEA agent, was to stop people from doing that. And so it's also really hard on her to know that that Einstein and the hotel are about to be sold to someone that specifically is 100% going to try to do
yeah,
that. And she's like,
yeah,
these people are willing to risk reality itself for their own selfish wants. Like, we have no idea what will happen if somebody changes something drastically in time, and they're willing to risk like billions of human lives for that. So she's also dealing with that stress.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were trying to push off the summit. They were like, push it back, push it back, push it back.
Mm-hmm.
We have too many things going on. And they were like, no.
Yeah, yeah. There, in fact, there's a specifically a U.S. senator is there to like represent the U.S. government and make sure that the auction goes down. And she's like, basically, I don't care who you are, I'm in charge right now, and this is happening.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah,
And she gets into it with January
a lot.
a lot. And that was actually, that's when you're like, okay, I like January's
Yeah, because at least
personality now.
January is flawed, but she has a spine. She has a
Yeah.
backbone.
But it's very intricate. You know what it reminds me of? And you're gonna be like, how? But True Blood.
Oh, because oh no, no, yeah, there's absolutely
Yeah.
the yes, yes, I see that.
Okay. That you take this you know, fantasy or science fiction aspect or whatever, and supernatural, and you're like, how if it really existed, how would this look in
Mm-hmm.
America? And
Yes.
if you haven't watched True Blood,
And what are you waiting
what
for?
are you doing? I mean, it's not for everyone. It's very gory and it's very sexual and all that stuff, but it's so good. Like the parallels of like, if you're gonna make it realistic, then you have to bring government angles into it, and they both do that really, really well. And it's like a lot of corruption and you know, backdoor deals and kind of like, you know, the wealthy and the government and the people and what people are concerned about and what,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the regulation will mean. And so I liked how this author did that in
Yeah,
this book
very
a
well
lot.
done. Yes.
Yeah.
So the other character I want to talk about is Ruby. Ruby, the AI drone
Oh
companion
my.
of January. We mentioned her a little bit earlier, or him
Yeah.
actually. It's so funny. So it's named Ruby because all of the AI drones come programmed with female voices, but January thought that was sexist, so she hacked it and changed it to a male voice with a New Zealand accent because she just thought that that would be a funny accent for it to have. And she's not wrong.
But why would that have to be hacked? Can't you change your Android, your
Yeah, I'm sure
droid?
it could. It's just like the default is
Mm.
female. So she probably didn't have to hack that. She just had to go in and change it. But it's a very tiny little sarcastic floating drone that is like the perfect companion for January because
Yes.
even though it's not alive, quote unquote, it knows January very well. And it is the thing
Yeah.
that is able to talk back to her in a way that she really needs.
Yeah, it's really like AI at its prime.
Yeah.
It's so funny because she kind of like has a love-hate relationship with it.
Yes.
She's like, go away.
Yeah, she acts like she
And
hates
he's
it.
like, are you sure about that?
I know.
She's like, fine, stay
Yeah.
behind me, but I don't want to see you.
Yeah, go around the corner. Like, yeah. So it's literally her best friend, but
Because no human would be friends with.
yes, because no human can be friends with her.
That's true.
All of the humans tell her, we can't do this with you anymore. Like,
Yeah.
we keep trying to help and you keep hurting us, so we can't try
Every
anymore.
conversation is like a confession to her. They're like, stop it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing this?
But then Ruby
Go away.
also has like some very deep emotional insights from time to time. So, and maybe he's the only one that she would be able to stomach those from, even.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think because he's not gonna leave her. And she
Yeah.
knows that because
Yeah.
he's a robot.
See,
And
yeah.
so it's like safe.
Yeah. And
And so
he'll never run out of emotional energy for her.
this is
So yeah,
true.
it's absolutely like, though the one person that you know will never leave you. So you take out every frustration on them, which is
Mhm.
abusive for sure. But that's the relationship she has. So I also saw something that said he's kind of like her floating conscience because he's always there to be like, is that what you should do? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, because you have to have that kind of
The little Jiminy Cricket character.
Yeah, it is. It's her floating conscience. That's true.
Yeah.
I think more people need that. They should make that.
You're supposed to have it like built into you, but some people's are broken.
Talking about the ones that don't, or they have
Yeah.
totally ignored their inner,
Yeah.
thoughts. They're just like,
Well, if AI could stop being such a sycophant, which seems to have happened by 2072, they seem to have made it where AI doesn't just tell you what you want to hear. So that's good.
That's the key about this AI is that it's not telling her what she wants to hear.
Yes.
But I heard, side note, that like they're taking away I think ChatGPT, the guy who made it, is like, yeah, you won't be able to get medical advice or like health
Or like therapy.
or like financial advice or something. And I'm like, wait, but that's the point of AI is to get advice. What are you taking that away? Okay, here's the thing with ChatGPT specifically. ChatGPT is not good. It is not good for information. It's good for like organization.
Yes.
Do not rely on ChatGPT for information. And if it gives you information, double check that shit. Do your own research. Like
Absolutely.
I find myself doing more research with ChatGPT than not.
Absolutely. I corrected ChatGPT's math one time and I was like, dude, you're a computer. You are supposed to be able to do math better than me. I shouldn't be having to tell you how percentages work. Okay, let's talk about the rules of time travel. This is the part for me in every time travel book or movie or where things get so confusing when, especially if somebody actually time travels, when people are actually going back and doing different things in the past. I always think that that gets really murky. So I think by not doing that, this author was able to actually talk about time travel without it getting so confusing and being like, wait, but if this person did this in the past and that caused it to happen in the future, then what's the loop and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the big plot hole with time travel.
Yeah.
I love time travel books in general and movies, but books specifically. Have you ever watched? Have you ever read? Don't watch the movie, The Time Traveler's Wife.
No, I haven't. It has been on my TBR forever, but I have neither read nor watched The Time Traveler's Wife.
Do not watch that movie. It does not come close to the book.
That's what I heard.
The book is amazing. It's one of my favorite books of all time. The best. Okay, I will tell. It will make you cry.
I know I've heard other people say that, and that's one reason I haven't. If I know a book's going to make me cry, then I will not start reading it, and I know that I'm missing out on it.
No, it is so good. I'm like jealous that you haven't read it, and I would totally reread it with you just because like it was such a good freaking book. It's really thick and dense, but it's like easy to read. But to bring it back to time travel, what that author did was basically the key about it is that you can only time travel within your lifetime. This author is the opposite and it gets complicated, but the time traveler's wife has like different rules,
Okay, very
which makes
interesting.
it more digestible time travel science fiction.
Yeah, so Time Traveler's Wife, you can only time travel within your lifetime. In this book, one of the rules is that you cannot cross your own time stream. That is really fascinating. So, first off, I think it's so interesting that the person who invented the time port, who actually figures out how to travel through time, was a woman. And but of course, did they name the time port after her? No, they named it after Albert Einstein. Man, so 50 years
Yeah.
from now, we still dealing with that.
I think out of all the science fiction, supernatural stuff, I feel, and as I'm not saying I love time traveling stuff, I do, but I just feel like this is the one that it's not going to happen. It's not possible. Like, I think you, I believe in aliens. I believe we'll be able to travel to really cool places in the future, like space-wise,
Hmm.
stuff like that. But time travel just still, I feel like there's nothing there, like for us to explore. Like once it happened, it happened. There is no going back. And maybe that's a good, I don't think that's a good thing. I think what the,
Well, no, because then all anyone would do constantly, like the
yeah,
TEA would have its hands full constantly keeping every human that travels back in time from trying to change something, because that's
but
all
then
we want it for. We don't just we say, oh, I just want to see the Renaissance and blah 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 blah. No, you want to go back to 1982 and not sleep with that hooker.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. I think, and then there's also this whole, oh my God. So you know the whole thing with the Hitler, like that's like the big
yes.
fascination. It's like I want to go back in time and kill Hitler.
Hmm.
So the Twilight Zone, another amazing show, they did an episode about this.
Oh, I haven't
Did
seen
you
that
ever?
one.
It's good. It's not an old Twilight Zone. I believe it's like a modern day 90s
Oh,
2000
when they,
Twilight
yeah,
Zone.
because they revamped it for a minute,
They
right?
revamped
Yeah.
it. And someone goes back in time to go kill baby Hitler. I
Mm.
love how that's the time they chose. I'm like, you couldn't just kill adult Hitler, bad art student Hitler. Like you had to go for baby Hitler, whatever. So she's like the nanny. And so she takes baby Hitler and she kills him. The whole thing is that she like drops him in the river or something. I forgot what the story is, but when I believe the nanny or someone figures out that the baby's missing, someone steals a baby from a gypsy or like a Jewish family or like like one of the two people he did not like,
Yeah.
the gypsies and the Jews. And so and then just replace the baby. And then the whole thing is like
Still, yeah, it still happened
doesn't matter.
because nurture over nature. It wasn't who Hitler was born, it was who the environment shaped him to be.
Yeah, so it's like something like that. It
Yeah.
was a very interesting concept, but I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just like before Hitler, was there someone at like, what about Genghis Khan? Like, what you could wouldn't know where to start. No, it's just like an iffy topic, but also I just like people should not have access to that. You know, we can't be trusted.
Yeah, so thinking about what you said about how like the past happened, it's done. You can't go there. How would that even exist? So that kind of leads into what the prevailing time travel theory in this book is, that everyone is kind of basing all of their decisions off of, which is the called the block model of time travel, which is also called the block universe theory or eternalism, which says that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously, like a four-dimensional block of space-time. In this model, time doesn't pass, and your perception of moving quote unquote now is just a slice of this unchanging block, analogous to how a movie exists all at once on the film reel. So time travel is seen as physically possible by moving through the block to a different slice of time. But paradoxes are avoided because the timeline is fixed and unchangeable. So a lot of people in the book are saying, well, even if people tried to go back and change the past, they can't because it did already happen. It exists and it's unchangeable. And also, the future already exists and is set and is unchangeable. And we're just living in this little slice of the block.
Then why do they want to go back just to see it?
Yeah, that's what most of the wealthy people are doing, is just going back to see it happen and not actually like interact with it. But then there are still those people who don't agree with the block model and think that they absolutely can change the past and that the future is not fixed. The future is changeable. Because that's why nobody's sure if changing the past is possible, or if they do it, will it completely change the now? How would anybody know? Will that actually destroy reality because the time stream can't handle like a huge change? Or will the time stream just adapt and absorb it. Like nobody knows. And so that's why the government so tightly controls what people are able to do in the past.
I feel like they would know already, though, if it did change. Because, like the butterfly effect, that whole
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
it would have happened.
Yeah, but how
Just
would you know? Because
existing in the
then,
space.
so if somebody changes the past, then the whole past leading up to you would be different, and it would just like basically changes all of consciousness.
You would cease to exist.
That's what they're worried about. so so it also impacts January, who is seeing both the past and the future in her time
Right.
slips. And so she's constantly asking herself, okay, I know what I just saw hasn't happened yet, because she'll like see people dying and things like that that are still currently alive. And so
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
like, okay, I know what I just saw hasn't happened yet. So do I act on it? Can I even change it? If the block model is real, then I can't change it no matter what I do. But if it's not real, then I could change this. So I should at least try. And so that kind of really impacts her decision making.
No, I know it, but that was like that's also frustrating because it's like, why the hell are you seeing the future if you can't change it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That would be really frustrating.
Every show that's like, again, I'm gonna talk about a TV show I watched, but Charmed, Phoebe's character, she has predictions,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
whole reason she saw it is so she can change it. So then what's the point of her
Yeah.
seeing it
To
if she
bring up
can't change
another
it?
TV show, That's So Raven, she also has premonitions, but when she tries to change them, everything she does actually makes them happen.
I never watched that. So
So it's a really, yeah, it's a fascinating concept of what our free will actually means and consists of. So
yeah.
there's so much going on in this book that it's really, really fascinating. It's a brain bender. Absolutely.
Time travel stuff is so interesting because I think it hits on so many things that we like maybe secretly want to do. Like it's the ultimate sense of control.
Yes.
And so that's why we're interested in it. But it also reminds me of another TV show. This one is just an episode of one of my favorite TV shows. But the show Roswell.
Oh, yes.
There's an episode, I think, in season 2, and they deal with time travel, but in a very small way. And the whole thing is that like this character comes back in time to confront another character and be like, you need to change the direction of things. Like you need to make this thing not happen. And she's like, well, what's going to happen to you? Because he can't be in the same room as his current character, whatever. And I'm going to cease to exist. And he disappears. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. It made sense when I watched it because I'm like, he disappeared. He's no longer there.
Right. Because he never needed to come back in time and change anything.
Exactly. And I'm like, that's a responsible way to deal with time travel. If the block theory is correct, then that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, then I don't know how that would impact that. So
yeah, I don't know. This is very confusing.
That's why, yeah, it's so that's why I love that the hotel itself, like its whole name, the Paradox Hotel, it embodies this paradox that time is fixed and it's fluid.
It's a very heavy topic.
Yeah. If you talk about it for too long, your brain feels like January's brain probably does. One last thing is that another book is referenced quite a bit throughout this novel, which is Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. It's used to set up a lot of clues that January needs to unravel what exactly is going on. So it's a nice nod to classic literature.
Yeah. And I love Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah, it's a really good choice for someone who has invented a time travel machine to use to hide clues in.
Yeah, and also just to confuse the shit out of you because Alice in Wonderland is fucking weird and confusing.
Yeah, well, and in Through the Looking Glass, which is the sequel to Alice in Wonderland, so Alice goes through her mirror. And so in this mirror world, everything operates by mirror rules. So left is right, forward is backward, and time itself can move in reverse. So
Yeah.
everything is fluid and weird and backward.
Yeah. And they also reference the Jabberwocky. I'm not saying that way. Jabberwocky, walkie,
Can you sound
walkie,
like
How do you say
Jabberwocky?
Jabberwocky?
Jabberwocky.
I can't say it. What my New York accent is
The
not coming out,
Jabberwocky.
so. Jabberwocky. Jabberwocky?
Jabberwocky.
Ja-
Jabber.
Jabberwocky.
Walkie.
The Jabberwocky?
Yes.
Oh my God. The Jabberwocky. Oh, jeez.
The Jabberwocky.
The Jabberwocky. I love that poem.
Mhm.
And that's also the reference used in the book.
Yes. Well, and also I was thinking about how time can move in reverse in Through the Looking Glass. And that kind of suits what's happening to January, because when she's seeing these visions of the future, they're coming on like memories, but you can't remember the future. But in Through the Looking Glass, I guess you could have.
It's a good one. It gives the very similar vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You're in this world, but you're also upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
So overall, enjoyable book. A little confusing,
But
a lot.
enjoyably confusing at times and frustratingly confusing at times. It's a lot of emotions happening.
Yeah, we're gonna maybe get a simpler book.
Speaking of, our current read for this month is Last Call at the Savoy by Brisa Carlton. So obviously we love the Savoy Hotel. We have a 3-episode arc about that back in our 2nd season, I believe. So definitely go check those episodes out. And if you look on our website or our Instagram, you can find our bookshop.org link to get Last Call at the Savoy. Any purchases you make on our bookshelves go to support the podcast. So we always appreciate that. Oh, I also don't know if a lot of people know that we have a Substack. So I wanted to mention that. If you go to tcheckin.substack.com, you can subscribe or follow us on there for free. And we send out periodic newsletters about fun hotel related and travel related stuff. Yeah. And I think that's it for this episode. So don't cross your own time stream, I think is the lesson we've learned. Is that like boys in the bathroom? They don't cross streams. Thanks for listening to Hotel History. You can follow us on most social media platforms, Patreon, and Substack by searching for Hotel History or Hotel History Podcast. To connect or collaborate with us, check out our website at hotelhistorypodcast.com. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so we can reach more listeners.